a doubt, the pre-tribulation rapture, the harvest is sequential. So, again, which view is more biblical? Which fits better? And I want to keep showing you guys this. This way, when you're reading the Bible at other times, you sort of have this in your mind. When you hear other things, you'll sort of have this in your mind. When someone who believes in the pre-tribulation rapture or in premillennialism, you can say, you can sort of visualize this in your mind and align it up and say, well, yeah, but that doesn't explain this and this and this. The parallels in the parable of weeds. In Matthew 13:24, Jesus presented another parable to them. He said, the kingdom of heaven is like a man who sowed good seed in his field. But while everyone was asleep, his enemy came and sowed weeds among the wheat and slipped away. When the wheat sprouted and bore grain, then the weeds also appeared. So the wheat and the weeds are together. Said the owner's servants came to him and said, Sir, didn't you sow good seed in your field? And where did these weeds come from? He said, an enemy did this, he replied. So the servants asked him, do you want us to go and pull up all the wheat? No, he said, if you pull up the weeds, He says, no, he said, if you pull the weeds now, you might uproot the wheat with them. Let both grow together until the harvest. At the proper time, I will tell the harvesters, first collect the weeds and tie them up in bundles to be burned, and then gather the wheat into my barn. So, when we think we want to get rid of all people under the influence of Satan and just get rid of them all, we're just going to somehow get rid of them all. It's not going to happen. Jesus says the wheat and the weeds are going to grow together, and that's the way it's supposed to be. How he knows who are his is who are strong wheat when he returns or when they die. And they both grow together until the harvest. So later on in the same chapter, Jesus dismissed the crowds and went to the house. His disciples came to him and said, explain to us the parable of the weeds in the field. He replied, the one who sows the good seed is the Son of Man. The field is the world, and the good seed represents the sons of the kingdom. The weeds are the sons of the evil one, and the enemy who sows them is the devil. The harvest is the end of the age, and the harvesters are angels. So the harvest that chooses which people are gods and which people are sons of the devil, does it come before the tribulation, before 1,000-year reign, before any of this stuff? No. At the end of the age, they grow together, and angels come. Jesus doesn't come and just get his wheat real quick. The angels come as the harvesters, and they separate them. Continuing, as the weeds are collected and burned in the fire, so will it be at the end of the age. He repeats it again. The Son of Man, so Jesus comes, will send out his angels, and they will weed out of his kingdom every cause of sin and all who practice lawlessness. They will throw them into the fiery furnace, where there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Then the righteous will shine like the sun in the kingdom of their Father. He who has ears, let him hear. So, Jesus doesn't come get his wheat. Jesus comes, sends out his angels. The angels, we know from the other scripture, they gather the elect across the four corners of the earth. Those who are of the evil one get thrown into the fiery furnace. Those who are of his shine like the sun in the kingdom of their Father. It all happens at once. There's not a giant gaps in time between these events. It all happens at the same time. Parallels in Revelation 14. Revelation is where we're getting a lot of these. John's getting this prophetic vision of all of these end times things happening. And he actually one part of the vision actually touches on this harvest. In 14:9 he says, and John's watching this, he says, a third angel followed them, calling in a loud voice, if anyone worships the beast and its image, and the beast from other passages is the same person as the Antichrist, the same person as the son of lawlessness, the one who, causes the abomination that causes desolation in the temple. That's the beast. And receives its mark on his forehead or hand, he too will drink the wine of God's anger, poured undiluted into the cup of his wrath. So the Antichrist comes and does this evil. If anyone follows him and does this, he too will drink the wine of God's anger in the cup of his wrath. And he will be tormented in fire and brimstone. When does that happen? In the presence of the holy angels and of the Lamb. And the smoke of their torment will rise forever and ever. This is obviously talking about hell. Day and night there will be no rest for those who worship the beast and its image. But that's also for in every age, not just the final tribulation, but the whole 2,000-year plus tribulation. We all have some type of demonic beast and image that we're tempted with. It's not just the last guys. Or for anyone who receives the mark of its name. 12. Here is a call for the endurance of the saints who keep the commandments of God and the faith of Jesus. If we're told not to take the mark of the beast, and we're told to have endurance on the earth when this happens, then that means we're here. We're here. So he says, and I looked and I saw a white cloud, and seated on the cloud was one like the Son of Man, with a golden crown on his head and a sharp sickle in his hand. A sickle is a thing you use to pull up wheat. And then another angel came out of the temple, calling in a loud voice to the one seated on the cloud, swing your sickle and reap, because the time has come to harvest, for the crop of the earth is ripe. So the one seated on the cloud swung his sickle over the earth, and the earth was harvested. Then another angel came out of the temple in heaven, and he too had a sharp sickle. Still another angel, with authority over the fire, came from the altar and called out in a loud voice to the angel with the sharp sickle, swing your sharp sickle and gather the clusters of grapes from the vine of the earth, because its grapes are ripe. So the angel swung his sickle over the earth and gathered the grapes of the earth, and he threw them into the great winepress of God's wrath. Even though it uses grapes instead of wheat, we can see the metaphor. Two angels come, one pulls a bunch, brings them to glory with the Lord. The other one pulls the rest and throws them into a winepress, which is where you would step on the grapes, which is where you get crushed. So that's not where you want to be. Are you benefiting from this teaching? Do you think more people need to know this? Are you doing your part to obey the Great Commission, to make disciples, and to create revival? Get empowered and start making a difference today. You can help by subscribing to our channel to get notified of all new videos. Share this video on your social media channels. Support our ministry so we can continue to make and spread more content like this. Make a one-time donation of any amount or partner with us on Patreon for as little as $1 a month. There's also many free ways to get involved in the movement. We ask that you would prayerfully consider stepping up. You can purchase either individual lessons or full series at an even greater discount. You'll receive the full lesson as a single HD video without any ads or banners on it. You'll also receive the study guide that goes with it with fill-in-the-blanks, follow-up questions to discuss with your small group. You'll also receive the entire slideshow, both the PowerPoint and a PDF version that goes with it, so you can teach from it your own way. These can be used in traditional churches from the pulpit, Bible studies, or small groups. Consider starting your own home church or study group. Jesus said the harvest is plentiful, but the workers are few. Use our tools and get started harvesting today.